Hello, my name is Devin, I'm 19 years old, and tomorrow I will no longer be a teenager. But this story isn't about the end, it's about all the amazing things in between. I first came to grasp with the concept of being a teenager when I was 12 years old. We were on our annual trip to New York City where I was born. My mom handed me the phone and said, "Devin, it's Connor's birthday, my cousin. He's a teenager this year, he's turning 13. I froze. My best friend was turning 13, becoming a teenager. Teenagers went to high school and drove cars and kissed people. That was so old. I took the phone, blinked, and I was 13. This is the story of my next 7 years. I really think that I experienced the breadth of what is possible for a teenager growing up in my position. At 13, I was an 8th grader, forced to reconstruct and shape his personality to fit the people around him that didn't understand that uniqueness is what makes a person special. Why be different when you can be popular? I got to be slammed into lockers, eat lunch alone, but I did smile once. I was walking through the halls and I overheard some other students talking about how they were excited that Pokemon Black was being released, but I was rejected. I was scared and I was alone that year in middle school. But there's a beauty to being bullied as a teenager, because after that year, I was never scared again. Before we continue my life in academia, I think it's important to present the most important thing I had in my life as a teenager, my family. My parents somehow kept up with an undeniably weird kid who wanted to go to Pokemon championships and soccer tournaments all in the same weekend, who wanted to upload videos online and otherwise only ever wanted to play canasta, do something with the family, or eat Caesar salad. For most of my teenage years, I was with my family unless I had some other required activity to do, and I can barely handle being with myself 24/7, yet somehow they managed to. I got to go all over the world with them to so many incredible places, make a second home out of New Orleans, and have so many amazing experiences in Northern Virginia. We have so many traditions: pumpkin patches, just dance parties, frisbee golf, La Madeleine, blowing kisses to Caroline and Victoria. Everything fun we did together. And most importantly, throughout it all, I felt loved. My family did everything for me. They know that they made these years special. After middle school, I walked onto the bus for the first day of high school at 14 years old, terrified. I sat with my backpack on the seat next to me and just prayed that I would get there without any problems. The bus stopped to the next stop and one of my best friends from elementary school got on the bus. I was so scared he wouldn't want to sit near me or talk to me or wouldn't even remember me. But he got on the bus, walked past all his other friends, gave me the biggest smile, sat down next to me, and I knew that everything was going to be okay. I thought that things in high school were going to be different, but they weren't. I was just different. It's a strange phenomenon how out of tumultuous situations come people with the most unique senses of humor. And not to toot my own horn, but in high school I had acquired this, and people liked me for it. I made people laugh in class, I ran cross-country, track, played soccer, I did as many AP classes and honor societies as I could get into, and slowly but surely evolved a social life that you would imagine a high school experiences would entail. I like to think that I got to experience high school from two very different perspectives. Firstly, I never imagined winning a state championship or being freshman of the year for the track team, but somehow I got to experience what life could be as an athlete in a high school environment. I pulled varsity letters in 3 sports, but more importantly, I got to become friends with a lot of people that I was very different from. There's something really wonderful about the team in a structured environment because it forces you to get past that initial superficial reaction, and it really taught me to relate to a group of people that I didn't understand. It gave me confidence, which at first was just an illusion, but it slowly made me develop this belief in myself that I didn't know I had. All of a sudden, I wasn't faking that confidence anymore. I also got to see high school from, for the lack of a more glamorous word, a nerd. I got to feel smart for good and for bad, and muscle my way through some of the hardest academic experiences of my life. I get to live my life with a certain composure thanks to this. I'm able to achieve things that I'm so proud of, and it's the very reason that I'm sitting here at UCLA right now filming this video. Yet, for most of these years, after school ended, I wasn't very social outside of my family. Pushing through my anxiety was really hard for me as a teenager, but the Halloween of my junior year, a friend that I had grown up with invited me to a party with all of my other friends. I had always turned these invitations down because I didn't trust that the person that nobody wanted to be involved with in middle school could be liked outside of the structured high school environment. But I let myself go, and I was me. I carved a pumpkin and used it as a jousting helmet, a head-first jousting helmet. We went to the high school football game and even stole and then returned a pumpkin. It was the first time that I felt like I fit in with fellow teenagers in my high school, and it shaped the rest of my high school experience. It gave me a group I loved to go to homecoming, Sadie's, and prom with, opened me up to a club that I got to travel to amazing places with and make some of my best memories at, sparked relationships and experiences I figured just weren't for me, and opened me up to a lot of the social experiences that Hollywood romanticizes for high school students. That was the night that I and my friends let me open up. Huge fan of Halloween. But But talking about all this, I can't forget the two friends that I had with me the whole time. A boy that I met at soccer conditioning that at first I got to teach the ropes, but eventually became way cooler than I'll ever be. And then a guy that I will be best friends with no matter what happens between us. They were the only people that ever knew about all this YouTube stuff, and I love spending time with them. They're the kind of people that you gotta have growing up as a teenager in high school, and I am so thankful for them. Then there were two groups outside of high school that shaped my teenage years. McLean soccer was one of the best things that happened to me between 13 and 18. I went into the program a scared goalie and then somehow made the top team. To use a geeky reference, I always pictured the guys on the top team as the crew members of Luffy from One Piece. I thought they were so cool and each had a special trait that made them special, so when I made the team, suddenly I got to be a part of that, and I was so proud. I've never fit in with especially masculine personalities at first, so when I first made that top team, they didn't accept or get me, and I wasn't a good enough player at that point for them to feel like they should. But over time, I got better. People came and went, but the core of us stayed the same, and by the time I was 18, I was starting, and I was good, and they respected me. I found those guys so cool, and I always just wanted them to like me, and in the end, they did. And my coach finally had more positive than negative to say. I was quiet on that team, but I appreciate the thousands of hours we spent together practicing so much, and I still can't believe we don't have those Tuesday, Thursday night practices to go to anymore. I really hope that everyone on that team is doing well. The second group was the Hidden Creek swim team, which was so magical in so many ways. I didn't get to see my best friend from elementary school much during the school year, but every year we'd meet up during the summer at Hidden Creek and it would be like nothing ever changed. But that's just a small part of what made Hidden Creek so special for me. I really experienced something there that I haven't found anywhere else. I was so unanimously loved and looked up to over the years at that club. As a teenager, the kids wanted to hang out with me. They wanted to spend time with me. They wanted to see what I was doing. They thought what I was doing was cool. They were definitely the first people outside of my family that really just made me feel special for being who I am, and I can't thank them enough for that. When I was 16, my parents left Hidden Creek and I actually got to swim those last 2 years. My parents kept a membership just so that I could spend time at Hidden Creek, and it's just one small example of how they went out of their way to make sure that I was having the best life that I possibly could have, whether or not practical. This allowed me to spend my late teens with my Hidden Creek friends when we could finally do some things by ourselves. We'd all get together and stay up all night playing video games, or basketball on the trampoline, or soccer, or whatever. I never really had that kind of bond with many of my friends from school, so every time that I got to meet up with my Hidden Creek friends, it just meant that much more to me. They're definitely some of my favorite nights as a teen. I don't have the words for the people on that team, and trust me, I've tried to write them. I will never forget those summers and every practice and every single person, and I'm so grateful for all of you. Then high school was over. And just saying that sentence still makes my insides tense up. It had taken time, but I was happy. Every day I woke up excited, and for the first time it felt like there was a place other than home where I could really be happy, but suddenly we were all saying goodbye. There was the last soccer game with my McLean family, the last classes with friends, the last swim meet, and then the last night all together at Beach Week. I cried 4 times from sadness during my teenage years, and those were all 4 of them. I got to feel respected and appreciated. I felt comfortable and happy in a community that I had shaped. I got to feel admired in something I never imagined cool. And most importantly, I got to feel like a teenager. My last year and a half in college, I've met so many amazing, incredible people and have had a time better than I could have hoped. I'm just so happy here, there isn't too much to say. Every day I get to do things that I'm amazed I get to do, and the opportunities that I'm presented just keep getting better and better. And the people I meet keep getting cooler and cooler. I'm myself and people like me for it. And I'm so grateful, and I will continue to take advantage of everything that I can here for as long as I'm a Bruin. My mom gave up everything for me during these teenage years. She'd take me anywhere and everywhere I needed to go, worry about me when I wasn't worrying about myself, and spend as much time as needed to make sure I was ready for school, for college, for everything. She dedicated so much of her life to be a part of mine, and I can't imagine what my teenage years would be like if she hadn't been a part of them. My dad did the same. He'd answer the same questions for me 100 times just until I accepted the answer that I already knew. He'd support the dumbest things I became passionate about and worked so hard so that we could do all of the amazing things that we did. Both of them put up with my elastic heart, full drama, 360 degrees IMAX spectacular meltdown during the college admission process, and having tolerated that, in addition to my friend that I painted on my wall, they deserve to be celebrated. My parents are the reason I got to have the teenage years that I did, and I could talk forever, but they know. Tiffany made every weird quirk or interest that I have seem justified just because she loves everything that I love. And she's popular, so this is all alleged, but she's just as weird as I am, and I love her so much for it. Marguerite likes me more than she'll admit. I've always been so proud of what she does, and I know she's proud of me. We are so different, but that's what makes us work. Jeremy is a skinny legend. There are 3 words to define Jeremy: cuddly, wonderful, and sweet. That's it. Please share that sentiment with all his middle school friends. Pepito and Serenity, thank you so much for reminding me the importance of family and how much the little things mean to people. I'll never forget you guys, and I only hope that I get to see you again. I guess I cried 5 times out of sadness during my teenage years. Grammy, Connor, Marshall, Nan, Papa, Mason, Uncle Jay, Uncle Nick, Grandfather, Gammy, everyone. You know how much you all mean to me, and I'm a sentimental boy, so just know that everything that you do for me, I appreciate. I have a few hours left of being 19 years old, and I still have all 4 of my grandparents, both my parents, and almost everyone that's ever meant anything to me. This year alone, I got to travel to Europe with my papa, my cousin, and my uncle. I got to fly out to Chicago to experience the Pokemon fantasy kid in middle school. I got to live out my dream here at UCLA where I can become exactly who I want to become. Swim at Stanford with a team pretty similar to my family back at Hidden Creek, and spend time with my Hidden Creek family over the summer. Ride in the biggest parade of Mardi Gras, visit Disney World with my family, go to Chicago for the 4th of July, spend a week at the most amazing house in Maine, bleach my hair blonde, wander around New York City with my dad, chill at a lake house for a weekend, get a dog, go to Halloween Horror Nights, spend Thanksgiving in Scotland and Christmas in Florida, and eat a certifiable fuck ton of Caesar salads. I don't know what I did to deserve being this lucky, and as a teenager, society will say that everything that happened to me was taken for granted, but I tried so hard to take advantage of everything that I have, and the memories that I've made I will carry with me forever. I've learned so many important things as a teenager, but the most important 2 I think to me were: 1, people don't like you because of how much you make them laugh, how good you are at something, or what you do. People like you because of who you are. And 2, it's okay to be yourself. People will always like you more than the facade that you put up. And I guess 3, that La Madeleine and Nordstrom Cafe are in a dead heat for the best Caesar salad. The next chapter of my life, I don't have the teen card to play to justify why I haven't done something or validate something that I have done. It was the same card that made my accomplishments seem that much more impressive and made everything that I got to have or experience seem like something that I was handed. But that's just a challenge to be that much more impressive and to continue earning everything that I will get to experience in the future. I'm so happy, and I'm finishing these years on a high. I don't know how, but somehow, this got to be my life as an American teen. So, that's my video. Birthday's tomorrow. There will be a birthday vlog in the 12 days of Christmas, because I do have finals week and I gotta start focusing on those, but this was probably a lot for me, but I hope you enjoyed it, found it interesting. To everyone that was a part of my life during this period, thank you so much. If you got this far. Everyone, no matter if I directly mentioned you or not, I thought about you when I was writing this video, and I can't believe I'm about to be 20, but I know it's only gonna get better, and I want to thank you all for watching. So don't let everyone ruin your fun today. I love you guys, and I will see you all real soon. Goodbye from Devin as a teenager.